today? It's okay.
Oh, thank you. I have. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la. Shalom Aleichem, if you'd like to follow along, page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And,
Shabbat Shalom.
It's great to see everybody on this holiday weekend. And I just love being together for Shabbat and thinking about all the wonderful experiences. Hopefully that everyone had a chance to share with dear ones over these last few days. Quick question. Is there anybody that knows everybody here in the sanctuary at this moment? Good. So probably not. So let me invite you to take a few moments, get up, find someone who you do know and someone who you don't know, two people, and introduce yourself and just say Shabbat Shalom to one another. It works well with a small group, and maybe we'll start doing this every week. As Joan Rivers used to say, talk amongst yourselves.
Hi, Kay. Shabbat Shalom. Good.
Rabbi Larry Kushner once, had people did a nigun, greet people, and then said, "Okay, Shabbat's over. The service is over." Not kidding. So we continue with the candle blessing on page 2, and I'd like to invite Carol to do the blessing for us.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our light, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Love Shabbat in Jerusalem, and at Colony Shema, when my friend Levi Kelman used to be the rabbi, at Kabbalat Shabbat, he'd ask us to think back about the past week, and then he'd say, Neshama Amukah, take a deep breath, and we hold the past week, let go of the past week, and then we welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתחילה. לך
Page 20.
דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Are you doing the transition or am I doing the transition?
It's anyone's transition.
It's your transition. I got the next one.
We call one another to prayer, to Baruch, call and response, and we think of expanding our neshamas outward this way as we enter into the heart of the service. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed.
When I was in New York many summers, I'd go to a Jewish spiritual retreat center called Alat Chaim, Tree of Life. And after dinner in the evening, we'd have a mishpacha group, a family group, and we'd share the experience of our day. Not what did you do, but what did you feel? What were your experiences? And unlike some other family settings where people might try to offer a lot of advice or fix one another, here we would sit and we would just listen to one another. And after each person had an opportunity to speak, they would end their sharing by saying, Dibarti, which means I have spoken. And everyone in the group would respond, Shamati, I have heard. So the Shema is that time of acknowledging, hearing, and presence with one another and the divine.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. V'ahavta on 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננת על לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
This Shabbat, thinking of Milchamocha and the quest for freedom, I think of all of those who are on the journey to freedom, but do not yet have their own place of home and of shelter. At the height of the refugee crisis in Germany, I went with a group of rabbis to Berlin for several days to learn about what was happening, and we went to refugee shelters, we heard stories. We heard the story of one young man who fled because he didn't want to get inducted into the Syrian army and have to fight others. And how he used his cell phone to call the Greek Navy to blow the boat across the waters so that they could get to the next phase of their journey and to freedom. And so we think of those who have not been able to pass the waters, those tragically who struggled and lost their lives in the crossing, and our charge to help all cross those waters to freedom.
Yai lai 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 Ya lai 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 la 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Mi chamo Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar bakodesh, no hora, Tehilot, say, Fele, Malchutecha, Ra'u vanecha, Bokei ayam, Lifne Moshe u'Miriam. Zehili anu ve'amidu Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai, ya lai lai lai, ya lai lai, ya lai lai lai, ya lai 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 lai.
In the book of Exodus, when our ancestors moved from slavery to freedom, the next chapter then talks about first God providing physical protection, but then God also nourishing the people, assuring water, assuring manna, so they would be cared for in the desert, like a mother cares for children. And this leads us to Hashkivenu. As we've moved, we're cared for under the sheltering wings of the Shekhinah.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Havidenu malkeinu lechagim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'havidenu malkeinu lechayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'havidenu malkeinu lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'havidenu malkeinu lechayim. Lechayim, lechayim.
We prepare to enter into the presence of the divine. 3 steps back, 3 steps forward, feet together, like the angels. We offer the first blessings of the Tethilon and then our own prayers. Page 46.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Oh, eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Oh, eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Chanora, El Elyon, Gomer chasadim tovim vekonei hakol vezocher chaste avot veimachot umevi geula livnei v'nechem leman shemo be'ahava melech ozer u'moshia u'magen Baruch atah Adonai magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה לחיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך מלך מביט ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחייך הכל. Sweet Spirit, hear my prayer. Help these words heal someone out there. I am but a voice, just a cry in the air, but I sing nonetheless, in this pain we share. Oh, sweet friends, come and dry your eyes and hold each other by this tree of life. I'm angry and tired of this great divide, but I sing nonetheless, with love on our side. Oh, sweet souls who feel broken now, we'll heal together somewhere, somehow. Time and again we have been let down, but we sing nonetheless, still whole and still proud.
As I walk through the congregation, please rise if you have names to share of dear ones. For those of you watching on Zoom, please share names in the chat. And Cantor Alana will be reading names from our Mishaberach list.
We also hold these members of our community in our prayers. Bill Slepin, Stephanie Levitt, Marilyn Greenwald, Marcia Margolin, Francie Karp, Leah Bat Gedalia Bat Vega, Tamara Grelick, Evan Bin, Lynn Etlinger, Larry Margolis, Carolyn Oren, Susanna Larios, Robert Cohen, Ronald Winchell, Mia Goldstein, Ken Brenner, Gary Verbin, Lynn Phillips, Larry Gurman, Celia Harms, Rebecca Frazier, Marcel Frazier, Sherry Berenstein, Bob Guisti, Maxine Rogo, Gail Prince, Diana Petit, Pari Meskin, Steve Tolkien, Morton Prager, Doug McCracken, Maria Guthrie, Kurt Meyer, Linda Silverio, David Habib, Anna Tran, Linnell Bin, Jane Barker Haugen, Sigal Olga Bat Baruch Elkin, Larissa Elkin, Carol Starr, Marion Frazier, Jeremy Kermit, Lev Heschel Ben Bat Ami, Susanna Price, Gary Nelson, Gal Ori Steinitz, Ramni Ben Harav Mordechai Halevi, Grady Scher, Carney Friedman family, and Miriam Suslow. Oh, sweet souls who feel broken now, we'll heal together somewhere, somehow. Time and again we have been let down, but we sing nonetheless, still whole and still proud. Oh, sweet Spirit, hear my prayer. Help these words heal someone out there.
A dream, reality, and hope. As we're together this Thanksgiving weekend, reflection on the meaning of this time and events of the past week. Begin with a story. Very often I change the story a little bit when I tell it to young people. I change it so that it takes out the scary parts, and also so that now today it's gender inclusive. I'll leave the gender inclusive change. So there was once a family, and whoever was the leader of the family had a magic ring. And this ring made the person always respected by everyone. They were successful and they were known for everything they did in the community. The magic ring was a token of success. And the ring was passed down from generation to generation, from parent to favorite child, sometimes to a son, sometimes to a daughter, generation to generation. When a parent would pass on, the ring went to the next generation. But there was one parent who loved all three children equally and couldn't decide. And so this parent had two exact copies made of the magic ring. And so when the parent passed on, first the eldest came to the house and said, I have the magic ring, and now I'm going to be the leader of the family. Shortly thereafter, though, the next child came and said, I have the magic ring. Yours must be a forged ring. And so the two began to bicker until the third child came. And the third child said, well, mine is the real ring. I received it. And so the three started to argue and argue and argue. And they couldn't tell the difference between the three rings. Now, at this point, if I'm working with a group of kids, I'll say, so how do you think they decided? I'm not going to give you that option at the moment. So the three children decided to take it to a judge. And the judge listened to the story of the three rings, listened to how it had been passed from generation to generation. And the judge said, whoever has the magic ring is successful, is known for their leadership of the community, and is known for their compassion. And we will take 1 year. And 1 year from today, we will come back together. Whoever has the magic ring will know by their deeds. You would think it's a rabbinic story, right? It was actually written in 1779 by Gotthold Lessing, a German philosopher. And the story was the foundation, the centerpiece of a play called Nathan the Wise, based on his friendship with one of the first modern Jewish philosophers, Moses Mendelssohn. It's amazing to think that this was written during the age of enlightenment, when there was so much hope and so much promise and so much despair to come. But it was a story of hope, that the three rings represented Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. And you would know which was the magic ring, the inheritor, by the deeds of kindness they brought into the world. And today we would expand that to so many other faith traditions. In many communities, there's an interfaith Thanksgiving service. I have to tell you, in most communities, it's really poorly attended these times. But it's an experience of hope. In contrast is the reality of what we've seen in the last weeks. This week brought the verdict of the three men who murdered Ahmaud Arbery. A week and a half ago, I was part of a prayer vigil in Brunswick, Georgia. And I'll tell you about we'll talk about what brought us all there. There were over 800 clergy people present at the vigil. And people that know that I went said, "What was it like?" And for me, it's one word. It's sad. It's sad. Along the courthouse, there's the front steps, and then there are ramps on either side for those that need handicap accessibility. And as we were waiting for the vigil to start, I had a great place. I was standing and up on one of the ramps, and I was great viewpoint. Took it 2.5 hours till Reverend Sharpton got there. But I was standing about 2 people away from Wanda, from Ahmaud Arbery's mother. I didn't know her. I was one white face, but it was important, and I went over and I expressed condolences and said, as part of a group, that we were all here to support her. What was the vigil like? What was that day like? It was just sad to be in the presence of a mother who had lost her child. At the end of the prayer vigil, after all of these speakers, Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King III, Al Sharpton, she ended the vigil by saying, "Say his name," and repeated Ahmaud Arbery, "Say his name." And it was a terrible event that caused so many to come. Reverend Sharpton had been there in the courtroom and had been there to support the family. And the defense attorney made a terrible remark about leaders of the black community coming, people who were high profile, and how that might bias or intimidate the jury. Reverend Sharpton's response was the arrogant insensitivity, asking a judge to bar me or any minister. The family's choice underscores the disregard for the value of human life lost and the grieving of a family in need of spiritual and community support. This is pouring salt into their wounds. So, another dimension of what you don't see in the news is the work of the interfaith clergy, the clergy in Glenn County. Rabbi Rachel Bregman is the rabbi of the small synagogue in Brunswick, Georgia. And she is part of that group, and she has been praying with Marcus, with Ahmaud's father, virtually every day. And a coalition of black and white clergy in this town, which is so mixed, it's a checkerboard, has been working for justice, for peace, and for healing. And Rabbi Bregman was interviewed, and it was just an incredible presence getting to meet her. We had met before. And just how the clergy was there to provide spiritual support for both, for Ahmaud Arbery, but also for the men who were on trial. And this is a very short clip from an interview that Rabbi Bregman with a news organization in Chicago. And hopefully, Max, we have it queued up, and there we go.
There's a real sense of relief in knowing, and a lot of mixed feelings because we know that there are families in our community who are losing their father and their
It'll come back in a second, Max. It always
grandfather and their husband and their son to a prison system. And at the same time, we know what happened was wrong. And particularly in light of everything that's been going on in our country lately, it's incredible to see a guilty verdict where people are held accountable for the mistakes that they made.
When you heard guilty on all three of the defendants, what was your mind going through at that moment?
We're just listening, just standing and being present. We as clergy, we're standing all together and we're just holding on to each other. This is an ongoing, incredible journey. And now there is so much more for us to do. And this verdict makes it a little, I think, easier for us to move ahead. I'm so amazed by this community. I'm amazed by the people here. I'm amazed by the tears and the strangers hugging each other. And that's a testament to people's ability and willingness to stand together. I am struggling with hearing people cheer at a guilty verdict. Right? There's a line of text in Exodus that says, when the Israelites cross the sea and the Egyptians are drowning, God says, "Why are you dancing? My children are drowning." So we don't want to rejoice in anybody's suffering. And also feeling a great sense of justice being.
I remember.
I'm really relieved at this moment in time. I get to go home to my daughter and I get to tell her that people are held accountable for their actions. And I pray that this is a message to people. We're unwilling to tolerate this kind of behavior anymore. You cannot run around and hate people based on what each other looks like, the bodies that we happen to be born into. Please, God, let this be a moment where we learn how to love each other a little bit more, where we recognize that we are human beings and to treat each other with the humanity that we all are God-given and deserve.
Pretty amazing. This morning, Rabbi Bregman sent out a email to all of us who are involved in the group, to the larger Chevra. And one of the things that she said was the first call that she made after the verdict was to Lee Michaels, the mother of Travis and wife of Greg, two of the men who had been convicted of murder. That it's about bringing some peace to that community. It's seeing justice, but never losing the quality of compassion. The Tuesday night before the verdict, Rabbi Bregman was part of a service for grace. And so I know it's a difficult topic to talk about on a holiday weekend, but I wanted you to see the depth, to confront a reality, but also to see the way that they're trying to reshape a community after this experience. Grace is a concept from Christianity. It's a love coming from God. And as part of that vigil, they sang a song. I'm going to read the lyrics. It's called "We Rise" by Batya Levine. We rise humbly hearted, rise, won't be divided. Rise with spirit to guide us, rise. We rise, all the children, rise elders with wisdom, rise ancestors surround us, rise. We rise up from the wreckage, rise with tears and with courage, rise fighting for life, we rise. In hope we pray, we find ourselves here. In hope we pray, we're right here. In hope we pray to find ourselves here. In hope we pray, we're right here. The promise of Thanksgiving is a promise that one day we can really all hear the voices of one another, appreciate the gifts of one another, and use those gifts to cross the sea, to feel the shelter and safety. May God, who sends peace into the heavens, bring that shelter of peace, bring us all under the wings of the Shekhinah. Shabbat Shalom. And we continue with a few announcements. And Greg, are you announcing or? Oh, no, come on up. Great. Yeah, come on over, Jerry. My apologies.
No problem. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi Darrell, for those wise words and sharing your experience with us. I think we definitely learned a lot from that and can continue learning. So I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving got to share some time with family and friends. We have some very exciting events coming up in our community. On the heels of Thanksgiving, we will now have our first night of Hanukkah, Sunday night. So we have some exciting events here with Zoom candle lighting starting on Sunday night with temple leaders. And December 3rd, next Friday night, we'll have our Shabbat Hallelu service with our own Ilana Jagoda and Saul Kay and the Hallelu band. So that one is definitely not one to miss, and we'll be lighting our menorahs at that time. And don't forget to order your Shabbat dinner from Ladle and Leaf next week. So they have a good menu. And the week after Hanukkah, definitely mark your calendars for Thursday, December 9th, 7 o'clock here in the PTB Sanctuary, also via Zoom. The search committee has recommended, and the Board of Trustees has approved the nomination of Rabbi Lisa Kingston as the role of senior rabbi. So she needs to be voted on and approved by the membership of this congregation. So we're inviting you to a special congregation meeting on that night, December 9th. So definitely mark your calendars for that, so that very exciting time in our history. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thank you, Jerry. And Stay extra dessert for everybody. And, traveling around the country, Mick has just been doing incredible stuff. And so he's already taken out the menorah. And I have to say that I know, you say that to all the temples, but any place that I've been, this is the nicest menorah that I've seen. It's a beautiful menorah. And, the value is Hidur mitzvah to beautify a mitzvah. And that's certainly the case with the menorah for PTBE. We continue on page 294 with the Kaddish. On this Shabbat, we mark the passing in the last 30 days of Elise Hotstein. And Kay, please pronounce your brother-in-law, because I won't mispronounce his name. Thank you. Express our condolences. We mark the yard sites of Mark Seth Adler, Edward Adelman, Edwin Backman, Jillian Ballapole, Leonard Barty, Adela Bonella, Maxine Brody, Beatrice Schultz-Bronstein, Alan Gamson, Jerry Gilbert, Stephen Glick, Leah Horowitz, Benjamin Kipnis, Elise Klebe, David Creeman, Ruth Land, Clara Lerner, Sadell Levin, Charles Lipton, James Bruce Lobin, Ruth Majovs, Rachel Morris, Eva Newman, Betty Norak, Betty Ottinger, Sandra Olson, Carol Plansky-Raffel, Michael Rabkin, Edward Rosenbaum, Dr. Neil Ross, Doris Sarver, Michael Schwimmer, Howard Seligman, Alfred Selix, Michelle Shallett, Leo Silber, Irving Spannerman, Tracy Talkov, Eileen Thal, Ann Weissman. Are there other names to recall in Yahrzeit? Please rise. Recalling all of those with no one to remember them, those who have lost their lives to violence in the world because of COVID-19, disaster, and in the defense of freedom, we say the words of the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmeid g'dusha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata. Tanriam b'alma v'yamru amen. Yishlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hui aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to the bereaved. Amen.
Amen.
We took a vote, and I voted that Cantor Lana gets to sing Kiddush and Motzi.
Any takers? Again, thank you to Katie Levine for this beautiful new Kiddush cup we have. So it's really nice of her to get this for us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon chinkilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziyad mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta Beotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahava uvratzon chinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim. I'll say Kiddush, but I don't really want to drink it. Motzi Rabbi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Take it home for the kids.
Okay. We'll take it. We'll take it. Thank you for joining us on this holiday weekend. Thank you, everyone at home, for tuning in. Nice to see you. And we'll end with a prayer for peace. Oh, say shalom. Beam Roma. Oh, say shalom. Beam Roma. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Hallelu. Count it. Sing it. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Yeshakah. It's always such a pleasure when you're leading services.
Thank you. Nice to read you. Josh was very moving.
Thanks.
Powerful, man. The work people are doing.
Yeah. Rachel is just incredible.
What a powerful community leader. Take it. Take it. We have plenty of bread. Please.
Shabbat shalom.
I guess I can't expect too much. He's 80.